Camp Papago Park, located just a few miles east from the heart of downtown Phoenix, Arizona, was a POW camp used in 1944 to house German prisoners of war. Most of these prisoners were captured German U-boat Kriegsmarine submariners who were housed in various different barracks separated based on their ranks, affectionately referred to as Schlafenland, or the land of milk and honey. The camp had an available recreational yard for the prisoners to exercise in, volleyball court, and a movie theater which showed films throughout the week. It even had its own in-house newspaper called the Papago Rundschau, which the prisoners could write pieces for. Camp Papago Park served as an important military installation during the final years of World War II, but is widely unknown to the residents of Arizona as it has fallen into the realm of obscurity. Despite the population's derelict memory of this defunct place, it was once the center of a great controversy. On December 23, 1944, 25 German POWs were able to excavate a 178-foot tunnel under the camp over the course of a few months, leading to the Great Papago Escape, the largest escape in history of Axis POWs on American soil. One particularly dubious group, dubbed the Three Mad Boatmen, constructed a raft that could be collapsed down and carried in 3 different parts by the men. After studying maps of Arizona, the 3 sailors hatched a grand scheme, which involved walking a mere 30 miles from the camp to the Gila River, where they would then float on their vessel southwest to its juncture with the Colorado River and reach the safety of Mexico. The innovative sailors would soon run into a hitch, however. The Gila River is a mostly dry waterbed that only flows after a large monsoon rain. After discovering their method of transportation was nothing but patches of mud and stagnant water, they would eventually abandon their craft after carrying it for a few miles and turn themselves in. Other POWs who had absconded from the camp underestimated how cold and vast the Arizona desert is during the winter months. Over the course of a few days, the majority of the prisoners would turn themselves in, some coming back to the camp and surrendering themselves mere hours after escaping. Some POWs, like Herbert Fuchs, a 22-year-old U-boat crewman, quickly became wet, cold, and hungry, and would turn themselves in to the sheriff or other authorities. Still others found themselves knocking on the doors of Tempe residents' homes who would then call and turn the POWs in. A few of the more resolute fugitives made it within 20 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border before they were picked up by Papago Indians, bounty hunters, or the Army. With a large portion of the escapees having surrendered, only a few remained, and news of those remaining at large quickly gained traction. Mugshots were published in the Phoenix Gazette on December 28, 1944, and over the next few days, all but one of the escapees had surrendered or had been captured. The last of the escapees, and mastermind of the entire operation, Captain Jürgen Wattenberg, was captured on the 27th of January, a little after a month from his initial escape. He was wandering the streets of Phoenix and asked for directions from a foreman of a street cleaning crew, who found his accent suspicious and called the police. Once back in detention, the prisoners would find themselves punished and placed on a diet consisting only of bread and water for the number of days they were on the run. This lackadaisical penalty was in stark contrast of the brutal treatment the Allied POWs who had found themselves in the camps of the Axis were subjected to. After the war, the camp was divvied up and has since served multiple roles. A portion of the camp went to the Arizona National Guard, where it continues to serve as a valuable asset and military installation. Some of the camp was sold to commercial and residential real estate developers, who have since constructed a variety of buildings and dwellings. Perhaps most notably, though, was the creation of Papago Park, a nature reserve where people can go and hike and visit the botanical gardens and Phoenix Zoo. There is little left in the way of anything resembling the Camp Papago Park that served as the POW camp for the German Kriegsmarine. However, if you look closely, some remnants do still remain. There are footings from where the guard towers stood overlooking the camp and its inhabitants. There is also a monument to the great escape of Camp Papago Park. I found this story incredibly interesting and had no idea it all took place so close to the place I have called home for the last 20 some odd years. I hope you enjoyed learning about this small bit of history as much as I did. I've included a few links below if you'd like to learn more about the lives and adventures of the people of Camp Papago Park.